I took some notes so I wouldn't ramble, so just bear with me. I would like to thank Melanie Brooks and New Perspective Theater Company, Julie Crosby and the Women's Project, the League of Professional Theater Women, and Susan Jonas for inviting me to be on this panel. It is gratifying that there is interest in my perspective. Let me begin by saying that I choose to walk in the world by defining myself as a Black woman, an African American woman, who is a Black artist in America. I cannot separate my gender from my race. I choose not to do so. One, because the color of my skin is evident and goes with me wherever I go. Two, the discrimination and inequality I have endured in America, and most specifically in the American theater, is because of my race and gender. And most importantly, my entire aesthetic is based on the African continuum. My people came from Africa to this new world on slave ships, and it is that African culture, that rhythm, texture, that remain in my very ethos. And this informs my art. As a Black woman artist in the American theater, I battle daily to do the work, to have my vision realized, to have my voice heard, unaltered, undiluted, and not compromised. I battle to do work with no funding, or so little funding that it is a miracle that anything gets done. I battle to make a living wage. I battle misinterpretations of my culture that foster and perpetuate stereotypes. I battle the lack of attention given to the work in a system that would seemingly want to ignore me out of existence. In 1999, 10 years ago, the late Kurt Dempster, founder and artistic director of the Ensemble Studio Theater, and I met for the purpose of creating some kind of program specifically for Black women writers. Out of that meeting, Going to the River was born, a program still at EST, a program that was initiated to provide a New York forum in which to develop, nurture, and refine the work of African American female playwrights. As a Black artist, I had experienced a dearth of multi-level, dimensional, and complex roles for African American actresses, a dearth of stories about and from a Black woman's point of view. And since then, with the help of Going to the River's executive producer, Jamie Richards, and joined by the current artistic director, Billy Carden, and executive director, Paul Alexander Slee, we remain committed to getting this work out there. We had so little funding that we could only do readings, have panel discussions, host guest speakers, and celebrate playwrights who had been building a body of work but were and remain underproduced. For example, the late Marty Evans Charles, who in 25 years had only 2 plays produced in New York City. Aisha Rahman, P.J. Gibson, Cassandra Medley. These readings served a purpose and helped to develop the voices of Fannie Green, Kathleen McGee Anderson, Sherry Shepherd Massat, Lorna Littleway, Shea Youngblood, Melissa Maxwell, Elaine Jackson, Perry Gaffney, and the list goes on and on. The irony was, we were asking everyone else to produce the work and not doing it ourselves, using the lack of funding as a reason. This year, I realized that Going to the River was treading water. We were just standing still. What does a playwright want? A production, attention, given to the work so that someone sees it and loves it and takes it on a life of its own. I realized that if we are to matter at all, going to the river must become a producing program. I had to step up and produce. I had to raise funds and do whatever work was necessary to get the plays on stage. This, our first time out as a producing program, we chose to produce short plays in an effort to provide opportunity so many voices could be heard. As a producing artistic director, I chose to take it even further in this age of Obama, in the face of a changing America, and open it up to women of color. Women playwrights of color are horribly underserved, underrepresented, and underproduced in the American theater. Their voices ignored, ostensibly silenced. The river crosses rivers into other cultures. Imagine these women playwrights of color standing before you today, arm in arm, Asian, South Asian, Latino, and African American, and white. See them, hear them. France Luce Benson, Melanie Cooper, Cara Lee Cothran, Kia Cothran, Naveen Behar Chaudhary, Ruby Dee, Nan Ewing, J.E. Franklin, P.J. Gibson, Miranalini Kenneth, Desi Marino Pinson, Lynn Knowledge, Bridget Wimberly, and Corey Thomas. They are beautiful. They are mighty. Together, they form an artistic collective that is resounding, that is powerful, and difficult to dismiss or ignore out of existence. Thank you.
So, after that fabulous, can I say, performance, and now, Liz, when are you going to be on stage again, aside from a panel role? I think we'd love to come and see you perform.